Good evening, everyone. I'm going to be doing this Book of Boba review for Final One. So we're covering the finale, the last couple episodes. So yeah. Uh, anyways, watching on playback, I thought it was really interesting. I like how it tied up all loose ends. There were a lot of good parts to it. Uh, Probably one of my favorite lines was when Mando, when it's Boba and Mando, and freaking Boba says to Mando, "You can leave if you want. I wouldn't blame you." And then Mando says, "No, I'm staying." Then Boba says, "You still believe in that bantha fodder of a religion?" So I thought that was very telling. And of course, if you know the history, you know Boba was a lot like his father, and Django considered he wasn't really into the Mandalorian way because he wanted to have a family, and he didn't want to get involved in the politics of the whole thing, pretty much. But yeah, hey Jet Sparks, what's going on, man? Just started. Yeah, we're covering the finale and everything. So yeah, I know we talked a lot last night about it, but yeah, any thoughts you guys got? Hey, Jet Sparks, you want to come on? I can see in the link. Actually, I'll just post the link for anybody. Hang on. All right, here we go. Anybody wants to join? That's StreamYard link, and we talk. We can talk about this. It'd be fun. Yeah. Doing proper test to that new webcam I was using yesterday. Okay, I had no idea it was a new webcam, but cool. Yeah, like also we can talk about our thoughts about Obi-Wan and all the other projects coming up. So it'll be cool. But yeah, I like that. The Rancor scene I thought was pretty cool. I would have liked to see more bounty hunters, but that's just being a old school fan. Give me a second. I'm going to try to message Jedi. See if he can jump on. Yeah. Okay. I messaged Jedi. He's on the Star Wars game with me, so that's the only way I can get a hold of him. I did. I think I sent something to Phil on old YouTube. Yes, I did. Maybe Phil can join us, or at least come say hi. Let me see if other people are busy. If there are other people streaming, he's probably on there. So, see, because I'm a genius. It's coming in 40 minutes. Okay. Message in Poetry Falcon. She's a good friend of mine. Okay, that's cool. But yeah, I would have liked to see more Mandos come out of the woodwork or something like that. I eventually want to see freaking Boba take up the mantle, but it was still good. Then they took out not only the people that betrayed him, but yeah, took out the Pikes. That was cool. I like them seeing them get theirs. All because Cad Bane couldn't keep his mouth shut. I thought that was hilarious. Yeah. Oh my god. It's funny. I found some parody stuff. But yeah. Oh, there he is.
Yo,
Hey, up.
I'm good. I'm good. Still, I know the talk we had. I know the brief talk we had on Phil's stream last night was good, but I guess it kind of shows I don't really know all that much about Mandalorian culture. I mean, we've only seen like people who look like Mandalorians, like Jango Fett and Boba Fett, at least in the films. And I
This
don't.
show this show did something really good. This did something really good. And you as a freaking hardcore fan and me as a hardcore fan, we can appreciate this.
Yeah, but I still
It
kind of.
showed us who the real Star Wars fans are, and it showed us who's not really well versed as they like to claim they are. And that's what I like more than anything. It's essentially it's essentially like a lie detector that's like foolproof.
So you think I'm not all that well versed?
No, you are well versed. That's the whole thing.
Yeah. But
Because we were talking about certain things, you're like, oh yeah, that callback, that callback. Only someone who's well versed would know that.
yes, exactly. I mean, again, like Mando flying an MB1 starfighter was amazing, and it was cool modified. I mean, I know they took out the astromech port just so Baby Yoda can like be his like little like be in the passenger seat essentially, a little passenger seat for him. And I mean, I know it's cute, but again, like I said, it's crazy how the latter half scenes of the latter half episodes that feature like
it's like
Din Djarin obviously were more interesting. Which again,
it's like I was watching Midnight's Edge yesterday, and Mexican Iron Man had the most ridiculous freaking hot take and criticism on it whatsoever. He's like, "Why was Grogu coming in an X-wing by himself?" Like,
well,
dude,
I didn't understand.
Have you seen the prequels? They literally picked 5-year-old children, plucked them from their families to go train as Jedi. So
and
you're
also,
telling me that a freaking 50-year-old child?
Yeah, I know. And again, we already know that again. Grogu, like even Luke said it, like a lifetime, a short time for you is like a lifetime
for somebody else.
Yes, exactly. So again, Yoda species are an extremely long-lived species. So I mean, and I know, and also again, the reason also because the same thing with Anakin in the Phantom Menace, he was like a 9-year-old kid, and he flew and single-handedly destroyed that Lucre hole. I know he kind of fumbled with it a bit, but he did the impossible. So he was worthy to be a Jedi.
What was it? R2 was helping him a little bit.
Yes, exactly. And again, you see you also see that bond that he has with that little droid. And you see it in episodes of the Clone Wars. He's willing to not work with another astromech droid because R2 was his astromech droid. Well, technically it was Padme's droid, but hey, they formed a bond, the same bond that was passed down to his son. So again, even said me and that little droid have been through a lot together. And even when R2's in danger, he feels for him. I mean, you've never seen anyone have like a bond with a droid before. I mean, again, still makes you wonder what would happen in like freaking like the rewrite for the stuff that could have been in Rise of Skywalker, where R2 actually dies, and of course 3PO is mourning his loss because he literally lost his best friend. You basically, and he even says that, oh, my life would basically be boring if you weren't around. And again, so it really shows, even though they argue and bicker back and forth, he appreciates him.
Mm-hmm. The thing is, when Grogu did come on in that X-wing, freaking R2 was essentially piloting that as well.
Yeah, exactly. Like that was not that. Okay, so yeah, again, we already know astromech droids can do all that stuff. They can autopilot for you too if you can't.
Yeah, like if someone has a legit criticism, I'll always take that. All right, I believe in freedom of opinion, but freaking when it's like when the critique is so freaking ridiculous, you tell.
Yeah, I mean, you kind of would know more like deeper into that kind of stuff. I mean, I know, I'm pretty sure everyone at Midnight Edge is really more or less looking at it. I know they even said that, yeah, you only would be an E only because you're gonna either like tap out of this because I think EU fans have been shafted throughout the story. But I mean, again, it seemed the safer bet from the beginning is that they could have just simply adapted everything and played it safe, just adapt things from the EU off the bat.
There are worse. Like Disney Star Wars hasn't done that bad. Like if you're an old school, especially old school X-Men fan who grew up on the 90s, they have never gotten, other than Logan and the Wolverine, they have not gotten one X-Men movie right worth a shit.
Yeah, that is true. I mean, I did like those movies, but I know
it was cool to see it live action. But if you compare it to the animated series, which the animated series was as close to comic book as you could get.
Yes, and that is true. And the same thing goes for Spider-Man, the animated series. There's a lot more stuff. I mean, the Green Goblin suit in the Raimi Spider-Man film looked ridiculous, but the best film out of all of them, I think they pretty much nailed how Doc Ock is. And I mean, the relationship he has to Peter was very well done.
Oh, 2? Yeah, 2 was really good.
And the same thing goes with how it's portrayed in the Insomniac game. You see that, they are partners, and again, he isn't willing to kill Peter. He just tells you stay the hell out of the way. Just simple as that.
Yeah. So like my point is there are worse things that freaking film studios or companies have done to bury a franchise or to make a franchise look like crap.
But I know, again, I'd say that still the biggest damage that was done to the X-Men films was Brett Ratner. But even then, like even when they tried to reboot and they did in the rebooted in the 60s, 70s, and 80s, it still didn't work. They butchered the Phoenix Saga twice.
Yeah.
But I mean, I didn't even see Dark Phoenix, but I could already tell this wasn't going to go very well. They shoehorned the whole plot of them going into space and getting it. Yeah, it happens in the comic, but yeah, they just kind of shoehorned it.
Dark Phoenix was pretty bad because acting choices.
Yes.
And it was like you thought it was a little better than X3, but not much.
I mean, again, it's kind of crazy. I know, just to complete the saga, but then again, you can laugh at it. I mean, again, we already know the guy who played Juggernaut was they literally just took that meme and just put it in the movie because Brett Ratner is thinking, oh yeah, I'm gonna be in with the cool kids. Just no, dude, just no.
Yeah, it was like every X-Men movie has been awful. I was okay with X1, but like Anna Paquin as freaking Rogue was shit.
Yeah, I mean, she basically essentially was like the MacGuffin of the story. And I mean, I hate the fact that they gave her the whole, they kept the whole that when she touches people, she basically can kill them.
Yeah, but she never Rogue had that fear. But Rogue had sass to her, and she had the Southern accent because she's from Louisiana.
Yeah, you don't really gauge that much with Anna Paquin, she's Canadian.
She had more of a Southern accent in True Blood than she did in X-Men.
Yeah, exactly.
But like, if you look at it, she can put on the accent, and she can have the personality that you can give it to her.
But also another thing that's notable, again, if they actually do bring the X-Men into the MCU, I mean, of course, Carol Danvers is supposed to play a major role in how she gets like She literally, that's the only biggest contribution to her character, and I'm gonna go by calling her Ms. Marvel, not Captain Marvel, is the idea that she's the reason why Rogue has flight and super strength.
Mm-hmm.
So again,
I remember that.
Exactly that point. And again, yeah, when we're because since we are like back on the topic of like Book of Boba Fett, yeah, I mean, personally, I like the idea of I liked the Beskar spear, I liked it, but I hate, and I know I didn't understand the idea. I mean, if you have this extremely powerful metal, I mean, sure, why couldn't you try to like fashion it out of weapons? Heck, even the Darksaber itself is made of Beskar.
Because to them, and that's what I was trying to explain it last night. Because it's a good question. And your criticism over that is completely valid. All right, and so it's because they look at they view Beskar should only be used for defense, never for attack, which sounds like some other stories that we well know of. All right, and to use something for defense as an attack, a weapon, is sacrilege or an abomination or blasphemy, depending on how you look at it.
It's basically the exact same. Blasphemy and sacrilege are pretty much
same thing. So that's the way. When the armor was explaining it in episode 5, I never thought about it like that. But yeah, that's how she acted.
Yeah, I mean, at least if he had any other weapon, I mean, I'm pretty sure sure, it would have blocked all the slashes and like blows that Moff Gideon was gonna give him with the Darksaber. But I mean, the fact that using that spear really did come in handy against
I agree with you. I thought it was cooler. Because, like, in Star Wars, we're so used to seeing freaking laser swords that Darksaber doesn't mean shit to me.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, the only other like metal that can resist a lightsaber is cortosis, and that's also not very hard to come by because there's only like a few places. One that is known of, 2 places that are known to have like deposits of cortosis on it are Boldemnik and Apatros.
And where's that? What era is that?
I think yeah, that's in like the Bane. That's like the rule of two era. You know, Darth Bane, who started out as a minor.
What I call the bullshit era. That's right.
Oh,
I call it that because I like the Sith Empire and freaking Vitiate and that whole thing and the true Sith and all that. I thought it was cool.
Well, I know, yeah, there is a strength, but eventually, again, the whole thing of the rule of 2 guaranteed the fact that there would be a new empire that would be ruled under the Sith. But yeah, he did have to keep his Sith identity secret from the rest of the galaxy.
It's the big thing that I didn't like. It took me, I had to watch the sequels a bunch of times to truly figure it out. It took me like second or third time to figure out that the First Order wasn't the Sith, or it wasn't the Mnet or the Empire. And, like, why would Hux ever think that he was on Kylo's level to be able to rival with him? He doesn't hold the Force in his hand like freaking Kylo did. So, like, that was part that was confusing.
Yeah, I know.
And that's why I didn't like the rule of 2. These people with the Empire, they're soldiers, but they're not
more or less, that's what they are. It's ruled by the Sith. It's ruled by the Sith, but again, they're just more or less people. It's kind of ironic that they're told to be like they're very humanist in the Empire. There's very few aliens, but I do like the concept like in the future where we have the Fel Empire, they're willing to accept anybody into their ranks as soldiers.
Yeah, but like that's what I like about Old Republic era.
Yes,
if you were with the Sith Empire, you were a Sith. Now, the higher rank you were, you would get put into the academy and go through the training. If you're Force sensitive, then you would have to earn your lightsaber.
Yes,
but everyone there was Sith. So
yes, I know that, and that's the problem. That's what Bane had a problem with, is that if we're all equally Sith, I mean, every single point about what being a Sith is all about is that you have all the power. And as far as we can tell with Emperor Vitiate, he was basically the most one of literally the most powerful Sith of all, considering why he was the Emperor. Even when he passed on his consciousness and created the Eternal Empire, that really wasn't entirely a Sith empire, but it still was ruled by him basically living inside the consciousness of another man, essentially.
Yeah, and for you guys that are watching that aren't familiar with this, it's basically Vitiate basically created a Horcrux. If you're familiar with Harry Potter, but he took part of his Force essence, which every Sith and Jedi would have as part of their connection to the Force. And then he would put it into other beings. So if he ever got killed off, then he could it's almost like cloning yourself.
Yeah, but that's like the diametrically opposed thing. Like the Jedi, if they die, they can just pass on, and they obviously have the tradition of like burning the body because it's all just crude matter, and your body will just pass on, and your spirit will just pass on to the netherworld of the Force. And that's mostly, but the thing is, the Sith are trying to essentially gain more power, and I mean
they're trying to cheat death.
Yeah, they are trying to cheat death and become immortal. I mean, there's only really, I think, the only other Sith that we know of that was essentially immortal is Naga Sadow and
Freed and Nad.
Freed and Nad, and in some cases Darth and Dedu as well, because I think in like the third in like Dynasty of Evil, that was one of the holocrons that Bane was looking for on the deep core planet of Praketh, and he found it inside a fortress. And I still think even then just passive, like some of the cool. So I still think some of Bane's coolest feats occur in Rule of Two. He literally rides a creature from the atmosphere of Duxon and into the atmosphere of Onderon.
Yeah.
I mean, because I know both the planets are orbiting very, very close to each other, and they have similar atmospheres.
Yeah, everybody talks about Tatooine and Coruscant as like the key planets in Star Wars.
But there are a lot of
Yavin 4 has a lot of significance, especially
with Exar Kun. His spirit was actually trapped inside the temple. Yeah. And again, he's probably one of the first Sith to wield a double-bladed lightsaber, but it was the length of a standard hilt.
Freed Nad was trapped there as well. That's why Exar Kun got to him.
Yes.
And then so then if you go to after the Battle of Yavin, there's some instances.
Yes, with Luke's new Jedi Order.
Luke and some of his students that were but this is EU, so I don't get to me it's all one and the same. I think they all go together.
Yeah, and that's what some channels are trying to bring it, or trying to like make it all fit together. But I don't acknowledge the sequel trilogy at all anymore. I mean, even though you could see it as like its own like pod, because I mean, again, it is a big galaxy. Because I mean, there's obviously more places. There's thousands of planets, trillions of beings that live in it. So
I acknowledge the sequel trilogy. The thing is, in Rebels, which came out before the sequels, freaking Rebels created a multiverse.
The veil of the Force.
Yeah, it created a multiverse. And so I think the sequels are one version of the multiverse, and EU is another version. I think there are more versions of the multiverse.
Yeah, and that's where we get like the Book of Boba Fett and Mandalorian and all the other pocket shows they're trying to create. Again, I still was holding out for Rangers of the New Republic because but now that Gina Carano's gone, it's not really going to happen. Nate.
Yeah, I think Star Wars is having its own multiverse. Why not? Like that's why a lot of people hated on the show Titans with DC. But if you watch Supergirl, you see that Titans was its own multiverse. It was its own thing essentially. Yeah, exactly. And I think Mando's its own thing.
Yeah, and
I think the sequels are under a alternative timeline.
Yes, and even then, I kind of think of the same thing with the stories I'm planning on writing, because there's one universe where, again, you can explain a lot of the stuff where you can explain a lot of things that happen in their world as science. Like, again, like there's a major thing about something that has to do with like some sort of element that was unknown, that was found in an asteroid that nicely was able to be captured by Earth's gravity and is naturally just orbiting around the Earth. And now like private corporations have like pretty much like exploited it.
Mm-hmm.
But and that's what's tied to it. But one other universe is where a lot of stuff is more truly about like it's truly about the supernatural and stuff. But even then, there's some element of like in my other universe about the metal, there is some element of spirituality, astral projection, stuff like that. And it's mostly contained with the idea of having some form of psychic abilities.
Yeah. Yeah, like I called this, and Nate, I've talked to Nate about this before, and I said, wouldn't it be something if we get into season 3 and Gina Carano shows up? Ain't nobody talking about it now, other than the Menace and the SJWs and all that, but ain't nobody talking about it. And we heard rumors a little while back that she might be in talks of going back, and then it just went radio silent, basically.
I'm not sure, because I mean,
it never happened.
I'm really starting to like. I don't really know about like Mike Zeron. I mean, even though a lot of the members of the Phantom Menace, they literally, I mean, even Midnight's Edge. Even then, I was listening to that same podcast yesterday. They don't want any. They don't want anyone to take anything they say as fact or verifiable fact unless somebody are telling them the same, like their sources are telling them very similar things. So if it's very similar from different sources, most likely there may actually be some validity to the rumor. But again,
they've never officially canceled Rangers of the New Republic. They just haven't promoted it or
and that's true though. But I know all those other characters that showed up, like that dude with the beard and the X-wing, that Paul Hunlang, I can't really pronounce that guy's name.
Yeah.
But yeah, he was probably going to play a big role in Rangers of the New Republic. So was Gina Carano, because it essentially was supposed to be her show. And I would like probably seeing a character like Bill Burr's Miggs Mayfield come back and be a part of this as well.
Yeah, but Rangers of the New Republic wouldn't have been coming out this year anyways.
Yeah, and again, we already know.
It probably would have been next year because they need to get through season 3 of Mando and give Cara Dune a little more backstory before they start her own show.
Yeah,
that was going to be the Cara Dune show, basically. All right, like we all know that, but she still was going to have to do season 3 of Mando before Rangers of the New Republic could happen.
Yeah, but of course, I don't understand. But again, like the thing they often say is they don't really know. The only reason why probably KK got involved in the idea because Mando probably got popular.
Oh, KK got jealous of Gina Carano and that she got over organically despite freaking.
Yeah, and that's the whole point though. Literally, Rey and even Jyn Erso are basically self-inserts for her.
The thing was that she wasn't the one getting the credit for these strong women characters that were really cool. It was the actresses themselves that were portraying and getting the notoriety. And out of jealousy, and all the reports about this have been true, was that KK was jealous. Anytime a woman gets more over than she does, popularity-wise, she gets jealous as hell.
Yeah, and that's the whole thing.
Won. Leslie Headland's won. Well, I forget.
Wait, Leslie Headland. I thought she was the one who basically wanted to kiss at KK's feet to get her to work on something Star Wars.
Well, if that was the case, then we'd be seeing Acolyte
by now.
They've been butting heads over that crap. Because
but again, I already don't acknowledge that whole high as a kite republic. Just it already doesn't make sense immediately.
No, Eclipse look good. If they go with that route, then High Republic will work. But if they veer from that and go,
I'm sorry, but but I could say, look, I will gladly stand by and defend the Rule of Two era that was established in like the Bane trilogy and the Plagueis novel. I will gladly defend those books because they're so well done. And I think like, even then, Plagueis adds a bit more context to the Phantom Menace. I think I really enjoyed the book, and he's a great character. Even then, we understand a lot more. We understand a lot more of how calculating Palpatine as a person was in this book, because considering Plagueis was his master.
Yeah, but just because it's High Republic doesn't mean we couldn't have Plagueis. I've always thought that they needed a freaking Plagueis standalone movie.
The Plagueis story is good for one movie. I mean, but then again, if they want to try to trust it out, that's just like, no, you shouldn't do that. It's good enough for one single standalone movie, like Rogue One, essentially. But again, I know I still firmly do like the character of Darth Bane. I mean, again, you already know he's basically a Sith that started out as nothing, and you basically see it's like the hero's journey, but it's the villain who's going through this massive journey. He goes through a lot of pitfalls, and he's like pretty much betrayed and almost nearly killed a lot in this story, but he's persevered. But the only thing is that, again, his apprentice did him in because she was much stronger in the Force, and more or less, I know Bane was more of a fighter, but I know over time he knew that he was getting older, so he had to just try to bide his time and train a new apprentice, which is where Cognis comes into play here.
Bane was good because he got to that point where he wanted somebody to beat him, but he wanted them to earn it.
Yeah, he wanted Zana to beat him.
He kept the honor of the Sith alive in that aspect. He essentially destroyed the Sith Order and then tried to claim that he was the Sith Order. Acting from the shadows. I don't like the acting from the shadows thing.
Well, I mean, if the Sith, immediately the Jedi would have been all over them if they knew that the Sith survived. I mean, that's where the character of Darvid, aka I think Tomcat, again a former family of Zana, aka when she was originally called Rain. I don't know why she was called that, but again, it's pretty smart. Even then, I like that Zana used how attractive she was to her advantage as a lady of the Sith. And again, I personally would want to see. I mean, even though I think it might slightly retcon something a little bit, because I think like Set Hearth got Endedu's holocron. I'm pretty sure it's assumed that he was on like Nal Shadar, and he unlocked it, and he wanted to. I think it's only assumed that he found the secret to eternal life, and he kept that way for like God knows how long, and he probably just stayed hidden in the galaxy doing that.
Yeah.
But that would have been an interesting story. That would have been an interesting story for Zana and Cognis. Like that whole story. And I think Drew Karpyshyn should have wrote that book. And heck, if you want to have a good character that's a villainous female character, you got Zana and Darth Cognis right there. That's a good idea. That's a good idea.
I hate the rule of two because you can only have two. You can't have any more. If you have any more, then they're an immediate threat. After all that time of him training up freaking Maul and shit like that, like Palpatine. He was all about the rule of two. Freaking
he was
committed. And how long did those empires last? When you had a full Sith empire, they lasted hundreds, if not thousands, of years.
Yeah, and Palpatine's empire only lasted 20 years.
Yeah. And then like Bane didn't even fully take over, but that was his vision.
Yeah, that he some other Dark Lord of the Sith. But even then, another story that I think would be interesting, that'd be an interesting story, but again, you don't have to see it, is the story of Darth Vectivist, the Rich. Good old Darth Vectivist, the man who essentially was not an evil Sith. All he did was really just further the Sith in knowledge. He was more of a scholar, and he just lived out his life wealthy with family and friends. And he just said he probably, when he was on his deathbed, whoever he just named his apprentice, it is your duty to carry on the legacy of the Sith, not I. And he just simply dies. And that's it. I mean, it'd be like a simple story to explore a little bit. Just that trial of tribulation of like a Sith who probably would never really do evil. But I know in Star Wars, that's not really that wouldn't really be all that exciting. People want to see epic battles with lightsabers, duels, or bounty hunters hunting each other down, stuff like that.
Yeah, people at least want to see one lightsaber fight.
Yeah, true. That is true.
Yeah, they at least want to see one lightsaber fight or just a fight in battle in general. Old Republic, that had a ton of it. It had a little bit of everything, and then it gives backstory to everything. Like and the thing is the reviews and the criticism, and then here's the number one thing I hear for people who talk shit about Book of Boba. Oh, I really don't know EU and Old Republic. I was like, okay, that makes sense. Because most people who do don't exactly hate the Book of Boba Fett.
Yeah, I know. I'm mixed. I'm very mixed on the show. I like parts of it, but also there are moments where it's just like, okay, that's really...
Yeah, but you don't hate it, okay? And that's the important part. You don't hate it. You got mixed because you know EU and these things like that.
Yes.
Like, that's the thing. The people that are hating on it, most of them have never played KOTOR.
Yeah, and you already know. I think you know who doesn't really. She's played KOTOR before on her channel, and she's even playing it on Twitch currently. I think she's probably going to be playing it.
Yeah, she got the whole series going.
Yeah, so again,
I know who you're talking about, and I don't hate her. I used to be a fan of hers. I stopped being a fan of hers when I thought that if your freaking tag on YouTube, your YouTube name has the word Star Wars in it, then you should be defending one of the biggest freaking divisions in Star Wars. They're all every era has a branch, okay? Whether it's Galactic Republic, original trilogy, sequel trilogy era, no matter what it is, those are branches. And to dog out KOTOR remake, which was one of the biggest things of the past 5 years.
Yeah, and I know a lot of people
broke the internet and everything. And just do that, and then hours later just trash it because you believe one report. It's like going to the doctor. You're going to get a second, third, fourth opinion if something's really bothering you or something like that. Why would you?
Yeah, that's true. But I mean, first? I'm coming at it from like, I wouldn't really know about how this all works because I never played it, and I curse myself for never playing KOTOR. I curse myself for it.
Yeah. But still, Anna knows better. This ain't her year one. She ain't no rookie. She's very smart, very intelligent. I thought she was a nice girl, and freaking the way she jumped on the KOTOR remake trashing bandwagon.
Yeah, again, if you really want to see how, I mean, I think I've been watching this. Like, again, I'm not sure because I know you don't watch it. But again, there's a podcast that is done weekly on Thursdays that she does along with John these other channels, John Million, a guy named Cecil, and Comics Kelsey, called the Jack Show, and she does, and it comes on like around at least 10 p.m. my time, so or 11 for you. And again, it kind of goes on for like several hours, like into the hours of the morning most of the time. Same thing with like on the weekends with like Yellow Flash's Flashcast. But the thing is, again, I know also another thing that's like a small critique I'm gonna make about her is that I think she was wearing a shirt that had like a boob, that had like a window for her cleavage and whatnot. But again, I think that's where you see her at some of her at her more mellow or even more insane. Because I know there have been plenty of times in that show where she's like, where people have made like super chats on the show, like making fun of her boyfriend and Cecil essentially hooking up or something like that. It's weird, but hey, she literally just, that's one thing that really pushes her buttons a bit. It's sometimes funny, even though I know I kind of make a joke saying, stop trying to make peaceful happen. It's not gonna happen. And she uses like, I think she has like her boyfriend's, she uses like a pet name for her boyfriend to protect his identity and whatnot. And even then, I probably think she even covers up like any photos of him to protect his identity.
I see how she does her cosplay, and to me, she's not showing respect to what that certain uniform or outfit represents.
Well, I think like
she's trying to show her own shit off. Like, that's what it is. That's why you got the cleavage and stuff. When there's only one time where you ever saw that type of stuff coming out of Carrie Fisher, Princess Leia, was when the slave Leia outfit. Everything else looked nice, presentable.
Well, I know I think for that cosplay calendar she did, I think she did both. Yeah, I know she pulled the thing. She kind of showed a little bit of her cleavage with Jaina Solo, but she's done
a little bit. Okay.
But she has done Leia, Padme, and Jaina Solo, and I think one of the things I know she was doing before then she like showed off like in videos like transformations of her cosplays. Like I know she's done Poison Ivy, like Terran Empire, Star Trek character. Yeah. And she has a few. I think that she has that symbiote chick from Deep Space Nine. That's a part of the calendar. And I know, but I think she's now just posting all those photos on on it, just posting them on Instagram. And I think she did a pretty decent. Looks like she did a pretty decent Harley Quinn cosplay.
Yeah, just not a big fan of cosplay stuff.
Yeah, I know there are some people that do that. I know, but again, I guess cosplay. But then again, that's the whole thing, though. Literally, if women do cosplays, again, it's guaranteed to get people's attention a lot of time. Not really me, because again, if I wanted to have a picture of women on it, I literally could just buy a damn SI swimsuit calendar,
and then there was that time where they were trying to make women more muscular in Marvel and comics, and she body shamed them.
What you mean that? What you mean like that She-Hulk, which again doesn't even look anything like She-Hulk. Like do you actually think that that's actually good what they try to do with She-Hulk? Like that weird thing that actually looks like a freaking Hulk, but it looks like more like the actual Hulk, but just in drag. It just doesn't work. It just doesn't work. And I know
not really drag, and they haven't tried it to see if it works. Anything Incredible Hulk, you're gonna bulk up.
Yeah, but I mean, at least if she looks strong, but at least she still looks feminine. She looks like a woman. She just looks like.
But it's all perception. That's the thing. People try to make these freaking comments like it's fact. It's like, who's the best at this? It's like when we talk sports. Well, so-and-so is the greatest of all time. No, that's your opinion. You can't prove someone is the greatest. That is an opinion, and that's subjective.
Wait, I don't know where you're getting at with this. I'm just talking about some comic.
No, I'm saying what someone thinks looks better or not is subjective, because we all have different tastes.
So yeah, but again, usually
muscular thing, that's an opinion. Muscular can be feminine and gorgeous.
Well, yeah, but I mean, again, you can look muscular but still actually have the dimorphism of looking like an actual woman still. But I mean, that looks like it didn't even look like a she. It didn't even look like that weird She-Hulk that they did or someone tried to do didn't even look like a woman. It just looked like Bruce Banner in drag. It looked like it. Just like, I don't understand that.
Yeah, someone might think that that's more feminine than just you saying Bruce Banner in drag. That's one opinion. You could have other opinions on that. So
yeah, but are you basically saying that people who want to try to make a woman look like a man and claim it looks better, they claim it looks more feminine, is like honestly kind of weird? I mean, it's kind of the same case with the character like Abby from The Last of Us. They essentially CGI'd a female head on basically a male character model.
It just depends on your opinion on it. Some think that all right. Some opinions are that you put too much muscles on a woman, automatically makes her look like a man.
I mean,
All right,
yeah,
because
no,
that's the
yeah.
old standard. All right, maybe if a woman wants to bulk up really big.
Well, I mean, I've seen female bodybuilders, but at least some of them still look like, they still look like women at least.
Yeah, and then some.
But I mean,
most of
those people but some of those people that look like that, usually, again, you have those people who are, obviously transition, or basically just saying they identify as one. But again, I don't understand that sort of thing though. But I know, again, personally, I personally think, if a girl wants to have a little bit of muscle, I don't think she needs. But I know bodybuilding now is more like you're more or less like you're more roided out than you anything else. I mean, but back in the bodybuilding days when Arnold Schwarzenegger was still on the scene, they wanted bodybuilding to make you wanted to be like, you wanted to look like, how you looked in like a Greek statue, like an Adonis. That's what peak
some
definition.
Get really bulked out.
Yeah, but if you got really like really like roided out, like you basically couldn't. I know you were too small. If you were too small, I know you were too like you didn't meet the right weight requirement. If you were like under 210 pounds, you probably couldn't compete.
Yeah, but things now are a little different. But yeah,
well, again, I mean, I like coming from my family's background. I mean, I don't understand. I really don't subscribe to all this really woke stuff. I really do not understand it. I mean, even then, I feel like I have contention with my sisters on this kind of stuff. Like, like really, it's just that weird thing. Like, oh, I'm supposed to feel this way because I'm this way or because I'm this way. It's just like, no, look, everybody can have an opinion, but I mean, personally, I still think some women should just, I mean, if you want to get in shape, I mean, I still think you should try to be at least more flexible. I mean, if you want to like look a certain way, I mean, there's at least two actors I think can come to mind that you can probably try to make yourself look like. Like you try to look like either Gina Carano or look like Ariel Winter from Modern Family. You can try to at least try to shape your body to match hers essentially.
Problem is people got offended with too many stuff.
Yes, and that's and that is majorly the problem.
It's Karens who get easily offended, and they've started a tirade and all this. How did wokeism start? Because some people with an old school point of view wanted to think it's either black or white.
Yeah, here's the thing though. As a person, I don't really see color in a person. I mean, and
yeah,
look,
exactly. And most normal sane people don't. Like, it's not about that. It's about conversation. It's about a person's character.
Yeah, but they don't really care.
No,
I mean, I will choose to. I mean, there is obviously someone that I know. I think when I was doing something, I know it's a person that I'm not on speaking terms with. I'm not gonna really mention who he is, but I know this guy. I know he and I had a falling out, but I know again back when I was like when I was talking with him online, we used to be good buddies, but I really feel like we could just like talk and have conversations, even though there were some things I wasn't really all that passionate about. But again, just sometimes even just talking my problems out with him because I wasn't really in a good place mentally.
Yeah,
it's just like, but then again, he just started acting like another person who was this very, very immature person. And it was understandable when we were dealing with him at the time that he was more or less of a person. I mean, we were kind of like this person that we were getting into a fight with a lot of the time was more closer in age at the time with me because I was like in my teens when this was going on. I had to be like the mediator between these two. And it's kind of ironic that now this person who I used to be friends with and trusted, he basically turned into this kid essentially. It's crazy. This was all happening on like Xbox Live like years ago. And I know, like I said, I mean, growing up as a kid, I didn't really have like any real friends, and most of the time, I was really bullied. I mean, gaming was kind of that coping mechanism, but again, I kind of often seen that idea that even if you're gonna act like a complete jerk, yeah, you're not. You basically don't mean anything. You basically are. I'm just done with you, and I'm not gonna even acknowledge you a lot of the time, even though I'm kind of like talking about him a bit, but I'm not like telling you who his name is or anything like that. Just like I'm just talking about this person, just like a person in general, and whatnot.
Yeah, see, I was in the generation of people who were trying to fight bullying, but I think the problem is what created the whole identity politics thing, is they went too far with it. They didn't
Yes, I
learn
mean,
moderation and control. Okay, we want to fight bullying. We don't want people to get it picked on. We don't want to make fun of people if they're too skinny or too big. But at the same time, we want to have free speech and we want to respect each other's opinion.
yes, exactly the point. But I mean, look,
And
and
they
I
went
was,
so far one way or the other. That's what we have now.
yeah, and that's the whole thing. Even if you're just like a little left or right of center, you're considered like like you're either considered the enemy.
Yep. The
Which I will
freaking
gladly say
so many Democrats go off on me all the time because I'm an independent, but the right's nicer to me than the left is. So, and I believe a lot of the things that they kind of speak for. I think abortion's wrong. I I love my country. I was a veteran. Freaking stuff like that. Uh, I like to save money. I believe in a lot of the rights values, and
yes. But here's
yeah,
the thing, though. I'm probably the last. I don't know, but then again, I'm probably also the last generation that probably had to say the Pledge of Allegiance in school. I'm probably the last generation
what
to
they
do
don't do
that.
it anymore.
I'm probably sure they don't do it, and I'm probably sure they don't do it anymore. I mean, anywhere probably where else I go, they don't probably
I
do it
homeschool my
anymore.
kids, so yeah,
Yeah, and
that's why I
that's
was
the whole
curious.
thing, though. But I mean, like it's always that sort of strange thing. I mean, I'm probably the last generation. Heck, I'm probably the last generation that probably actually studied cursive in school, even though I kind of still couldn't read it. Heck, I know I still kind of somewhat couldn't read it to this day. But
Yeah,
I know,
I heard they took a lot of it out of schools. I was like, damn, dude.
but again, I really respected my grandmother because she easily could write cursive very well, even though I couldn't really read it, even though I know. It's just
Yeah.
like I know it's great. It's like it's strange that even though I learned it, it still was like it was like another language to me almost. But again, I was probably that kid that really had like the most tried to be a perfectionist when it came to handwriting things, always
Yeah.
just writing in simple print. Compared to like other, I mean, even teachers like complimented me on that, but again, compared to like my other classmates who just basically just wrote like they were like everything they wrote was in chicken scratch. I'm surprised how they even got that far, even into high school with that kind of stuff.
Yeah. But yeah, I thought this was a good season of Book of Boba, but the way they ended it, it doesn't look like they're going to be having another season. It essentially looks like it's a limited time series.
Yeah, it is something, but again, the true next step of the story is going to be Mandalorian season 3.
Yeah, and it's set up for that, and it tied all the loose ends. It felt like that was it. So the last shot is them saving the town, and everybody's happy.
And
And
Boba Fett's earned the respect of the people of Mos
yeah, of the
Espa
people and the people that work for him. Even the Wookiee didn't seem like he was in service, but he was just there because he wanted to be. Of course, freaking Boba's making a joke. He gives him the food and everything. And that last shot that they had, it seemed like that's it.
Yeah, it is.
Oh, so for what it was fine. If you're gonna Book of Boba is gonna go out, that's the way to go out. That's the way I look at it. Like if you're gonna go out like that, go out like that. don't try to do another season and then run into the ground and stuff like that.
Yeah, exactly. But again, sometimes, it's better to sometimes just try to contain the story. I mean, the best example of I'm so nice. I'm sorry about that.
That's all good. Even Ryan's review, well, his slight review, because of what he heard, said that it was 50-50.
Yeah.
All right, keep it 50-50 instead of like totally trashing it.
Yeah, let me see if I can get my camera. That show right there, that ended on a decent high note. They actually ended with them defeating stopping the alien invasion, because that's mostly what the show was about, just people surviving and trying to fight after a massive alien invasion.
Did that have Noah Wyle in it?
Yeah, Noah Wyle.
Yeah, because my mom was an ER fan. She used to watch it and said it was really good.
Yeah, Noah Wyatt. I think it had Sarah Carter in it. Darn, I forgot that actor. He was in like Remember the Titans. I forgot his name.
Will Patton.
Yeah, Will Patton. That.
I'm a huge fan of his work, dude.
Yeah, Will Patton was in
Punisher
it.
04. Remember the Titans, which me and my wife were watching before I came on here.
Yeah, I love that movie, and also Moon Bloodgood was in the show too, as like the doctor. And even then, I know, like, again, there were some twists and turns, some really horrific bits where the aliens were experimenting on humans and even turning them into hybrid aliens. But they actually stopped them, and then again they realized they ended with the shot just panning out into outer space, saying that now that we've defeated them, we become better human beings because of that. And it's always that dichotomy with it, is that if we're facing a much graver threat, bigger than ourselves, here's the thing though: if we're going to devolve further into a worse state with the world in chaos, or we're going to come together and we're going to try to fight it back together as one.
Yeah,
that makes the biggest difference. And it's crazy how divided our world is. It makes me wonder that if the aliens are watching us right now, they're looking at, look, what the heck is up with these apes? Why are they acting like this? I think they would have solved world hunger by this point.
Yeah. But yeah, now that we finish up Book of Boba, what do you think the future has? What do you think all this stuff is leading to? What do you think about Mando season 3? What do you think about other possible shows? Most importantly, our next one is Obi-Wan.
I don't really know. I mean, if they're going to be doing, it's more or less going to be dealing with like them encounter each other through like Force visions. That would probably make more sense. And again, as long as they don't have characters that don't need to be there, like Leia, for example, like again, she's supposed to be on Alderaan with Bail Organa, and that's about it. I mean, sure, they're probably gonna get like the actors who played Owen and Beru in there, most likely. But other than that, I'm not really sure everything else. But I know we probably also. I'm not really sure about it. I know they kind of showed that sort of like the old Wounds comic story in Rebels, which is probably the worst, which is probably not the better version, which is not all that good compared to the comic strip that was in Star Wars Visionaries. It's really something that I really hope that maybe we might get a little bit of an Easter egg to Maul maybe in this story. But I really think that hopefully it's going to be good. And I know we just like encounter them, and the so-called rematch of the century is going to be happening through a vision and not through them actually fighting each other.
I heard people trying to make comparisons that Obi-Wan and Mando stuff is going to mix. I was like, what?
No, Mando was before this. This is supposed to be taking place on the interim time that Obi-Wan is on Tatooine watching over Luke. That makes a lot more sense.
Isn't Mando like after Return of the Jedi?
Yes, it is. I mean, again, we already saw
like that almost a 40-year gap between between a 30 and 40-year gap between the two events.
Yeah, because I know, again, like, I still want to use that time scale of, this is like, I know, the Obi-Wan series should probably take place, but probably between 19 years and maybe 15 years before the Battle of Yavin, BBY.
Because Ewan McGregor, they've asked him, he's been on several interviews, I saw one, that Obi-Wan starts right after Revenge of the Sith. Like, it's literally around the same time as Bad Batch. So how Bad Batch kicks off right after. That's what Obi-Wan show is going to be. It's essentially going to be as soon as he gets Luke and takes them to Owen and Peru.
Yeah. But also another thing I really do think that's going to be, because again, he is going to be watching over Luke.
Mm-hmm.
And again, I know the Old Wounds comic strip, this happens like when Luke is still like at least maybe like 5 at the time. Again, like Maul has been tracking Kenobi ever since he was.
We'll probably see Maul. I think that's possible.
But I know we've also seen the duel between Maul and him in Rebels, which again is like the worser version of Old Wounds. But I like to see him attack the homestead just like he did in Old Wounds and attack Owen. But I know in the end of the story, it's Owen that puts Maul down with his blaster rifle and not Obi-Wan, because he has the lightsaber right at Maul's face, and he thinks he almost is about to activate and kill him, but he sees flashes of Anakin suffering, Padme's, and probably maybe even Satine Kryze. Because again, that was one woman that he could truly say. He said he definitely would have left the order for her. And I can only imagine Obi-Wan ruling Mandalore. That's a good what if story.
Even when I was watching that, I was like, that's why I like Bo-Katan so much, because she was with Death Watch, and they were just like, which I think is funny seeing Bo-Katan and Mando, because I'm like, dude, you should have joined the freaking Mandalorian clan that Din Djarin was with. I mean, like, that's what Bo-Katan was. She was Death Watch.
Yeah, and it wasn't a Death Watch that saved him when his whatever planet he was on was attacked by.
Well, I'm trying to see what the difference is between Death Watch and the Watch. Armor is supposed to be the group called the Watch. Bo-Katan was with Death Watch. I want to see if there's a difference. Are they the same? Yeah. Like, where do all these groups come from? That's one thing I need to do more research on.
Yeah, but also the same thing also is, I think if they are going to use the Veil of the Forks, I mean, that's a part of the logo with the Ahsoka series. One character I would love to probably see hopefully come back in that series is Lux Bonteri, maybe come back. Because you think, it's more subtle. It's more subtly implied. But again, you kind of show that, they kind of showed hints that they kind of liked each other, even though, again, the Jedi are forbidden.
Yeah, but it depends on if the Ahsoka show is following Mando. He's going to be kind of old.
Yeah, he is going to be.
Because think about it. We see him in the Clone Wars in the Separatist era. So, like.
Yeah, and I think Lux was probably, both Ahsoka and Lux Bonteri were probably at least like either 15 or 16 when the Clone Wars kicked off.
Somewhere teenager, okay. Let's say about 15, 16, just to be on the safe side. And that was during Galactic Republic era. So you're talking about at least a 30-year time gap. So he's going to be in his mid to late 40s.
Yeah, at least. And I know that's probably old Ahsoka maybe. But again, Togruta probably aged differently.
Maybe give some flashbacks of Lux. Maybe
but also the
older Lux, but then do flashbacks from when he was younger, and then
and I know the thing is
that could work.
I know also, again, I'm not really sure, but it still makes you wonder if Ashley Eccleston would have like put on the makeup and did the makeup job. She still have the voice to match her. That's the whole thing, though. Again, she's known as
old Ahsoka.
But as like teenage Ahsoka.
Yeah, definitely. And that could still happen.
So yeah, that's the whole thing.
They're gonna do flashbacks. And Book of Boba is an example, especially with your cartoon type characters that they're bringing to live action. Oh, they're gonna do flashbacks for Ahsoka. That's guaranteed. And they're gonna do a ton of them because they wanna capture on taking that, especially with Filoni being at the top of creative of Lucasfilm right now. Freaking, they're gonna do it. They'll do a ton of it, and they might bring her back. Just a little nod to the fans.
Yeah,
I think they will. That's why they brought Cad Bane in. That was a nod to all the Clone Wars and Rebels.
Yeah, and I know, like Phil said, I think there was an original thing where we finally got that showdown because there was supposed to be a showdown between him and Boba Fett in Clone Wars, but that never came to pass. So I'm guess Dave was probably happy when he finally got to see that scene on screen. So there you go.
Well, when he finally got the green light on his girl being in live action, I bet you Filoni was over the freaking moon about that. So it's like, oh, well, we can do this, and we can do that.
Yeah, and again, like I said, though, I absolutely love Rosario Dawson. I kind of had a bit of a crush on her since like Men in Black 2, and
Dude, I've been following her work since she was a little girl back in the 80s.
I didn't know she was working in the industry that long.
Yep, she's a child star, dude. She's been there her whole damn life.
Yeah, but at least she seems like she's very well adjusted, unlike the plank of wood, who basically even said that she could have been better. Shirley Temple could have been better. Shirley Temple couldn't have gotten as famous as she did. Sweetheart, she.
Who's plank of wood?
Brie Larson.
Oh my god, what did Brie Larson ever do? I don't even remember her other than Captain Marvel.
I don't know, but I know the only other film I know she was in. She was playing Envy Adams in Scott Pilgrim versus the World. That's the only other movie I know her from. That's about it. And basically, when you think about it, she was basically playing herself. She was basically a diva-ish rock pop princess. And again, that's the whole point with her character. She basically was playing herself. She acted like she was so full of herself and whatnot.
She comes across as such a snob. That's why I can't.
Yes, and that's the whole thing. But Shirley Temple, heck, even as a child, she had a presence in the room, and a lot of people all hated her. People just don't like her because you're too much of a snob. That's the reason why people don't like you, Brie. That's the whole point. She
started in 2001.
Yeah, exactly. So she's only been doing it. I know Shirley Temple started as a child star, but she retired and basically became a mother. So she's done her career in Hollywood, and she just wanted to end it and just go on to bigger pastures in life.
Okay. So her first major role came as Emily, the younger daughter of Bob Saget's character in the WB sitcom Raising Dad, which I've never fucking heard of.
Yeah, I mean, most people only know who Bob Saget is from How I Met Your Mother and, of course, from Full House. That's the only thing. And he also hosted America's Funniest Home Videos back in the 80s and early 90s. So that's about it. Know it about that. But again,
she was in that show Hope and Faith.
I don't know. I don't really know that show.
Oh, but it was big back in the mid 2000s, but then she got replaced.
Yeah. So was Friends too. So Friends was a big show as well, and maybe that show that had a band of Binds on it, and Jessica McCarthy.
There was a Disney original movie called Right on Track. It was about racing, which she co-starred with Beverly Mitchell. Beverly Mitchell was on Seventh Heaven. She was a huge star.
Oh, I don't think I remember. I don't think I remember that decom.
Okay, she's done a ton of Disney movies. Yep, 13 going on 30 with Jennifer Garner. Sleepover. Yeah. She was a teen star. She wasn't really a kid star. She was a teen
star. Right. Oh, wait. Wasn't she one of those bully chicks that was during her 80s or before when Jennifer Garner's character was in the 80s. Like, wasn't she like?
Yep. 13 going on 30. Yep, that you're right.
Oh man, that was geez. So again, I think that's basically what your character is. She basically is playing herself because that's what she acts like, a total snob. She's the mean girl.
Yeah. Well, she has good reason to be pissed off all the time, because every one of her roles is not Captain Marvel. Let's just say Captain Marvel is the biggest role she's ever done in her whole life, from what I'm seeing here.
Yeah, but every role, it seems like most of the roles she's been in were usually just like where she acts like a very snobbish or very quote unquote be in her undies type character.
Well, yeah, if you wanted to hit the big time and you get cast as like the co-star to the co-star to the co-star, you'd be pissed off too.
Yeah, and that's the
I don't think she knows how to let go of bitterness. I think
that's the kind of thing. Though. So a lot of women can be very vindictive. I mean that's what led KK to firing Gina Carano, isn't it? Women are
vindictive. Worse because freaking Brie doesn't have the power that all these other people like your KK does.
Yes.
KK was trying to lead a women's movement. I really don't even blame Kathleen Kennedy.
Yeah, but of course she literally just said that. Oh, like again with A Wrinkle in Time. Who the heck did she play in that movie? I don't even know.
Who's that?
Brie Larson. She said something about A Wrinkle in Time. Is she in it or something?
Let's see. Get her whole filmography if I can freaking find it. What? Brie Larson does some music? Oh shit.
Oh yeah, I think she did the cover for that song that was sung in Scott Pilgrim, Black Sheep.
Oh damn, yeah, you're right, man. All right, the water is thirsty. Yeah, freaking. Yeah, most of her roles have been
like supporting roles.
Supporting, or she's done a lot of Disney Channel original type stuff, which really doesn't get you anywhere in the long run.
Well, I could say something. I mean,
Kristen Storms is an amazing actress, but she never got like a leading role in big Hollywood.
Well, I could say the same thing for Rose McIver. She started out on Australian television, then she got like her role on Power Rangers RPM as like Yellow Ranger, and I think she was.
Oh that's right.
She was the lead in that show iZombie, and I think she's doing a new show where she's like in a house full of like ghosts on CBS. I think I saw one episode of it. I didn't really watch it. I only just saw one random episode. Oh hey, Rose McIver's in this show, and that's about it. And I think the Red Ranger of RPM also went on to do Spartacus, and he was also in Jessica Jones as her roommate. And that's the only notable. I think the only other actor I know that's gone on to do some well-known stuff, like I think like Anna Hutchinson. She was like the blonde chick that was in Cabin in the Woods. That's the only other notable movie I think she's been in.
Oh dang, you might not be seeing her much longer.
Who, Brie?
Yep, because she is now a producer.
Oh no.
Yep.
Let me guess, she's probably gonna make a lot of roles where all the men look stupid, and yeah, she's trying to elevate all the women up, even if they don't do much, they automatically are just better just because they exist.
Yeah, I don't know about that. I do think that she's going to do stuff for younger people.
Oh Lord.
The way younger people do shit now.
Oh, she's trying to appeal to the younger demographic, saying, you don't need no man in your life. Look, I'm not saying entirely you need to like go out and get married to somebody, because in this day and age, really, marriage ain't really good for anybody in this day and age. As much as I would love to be in a relationship with somebody, some people have.
Her current project as an executive producer is called Lessons in Chemistry. And here's the synopsis. Set in the early 1960s, Elizabeth Zod's dream of being a scientist is put on hold when she finds herself pregnant, alone, and fired from a lab. So basically, your teen mom shit, but mainstream Hollywood.
Oh boy.
Yeah. So like, no, it's not woke or freaking Me Too or anything like that. It's just MTV type shit.
Oh. But again, like I said, though, I don't really know. I mean, the thing is, at least in
He was on Touched by an Angel? What?
Huh?
Yeah. I'm going to IMDb and they got bigger freaking. It's better than Wiki is. Yeah, she was on Touched by an Angel.
I know. I've looked on IMDb too, but I know it isn't like I know some people say it's not.
Oh,
like
it's got the credit, character name, and everything, and I have the entire Touched by an Angel collection. Got that from my dad, so yeah, it's legit.
But yeah, like I said though, I know I did a little bit of a writing stream testing out that camera I got.
Mm-hmm.
I did show glimpses of what I was working on, and like I said, that story again, I kind of like play it as a way that you have like it's kind of like how a relationship really should work, at least because for at least my protagonists, they are in love with each other, madly in love with each other. And they're willing to defend each other. There's literally one point in the story where my main female character obviously has to straight up defend, defends someone who basically insults her boyfriend by basically saying, "Oh, he's just more of a using that whole idea about people rating people based on numbers. Like if he's a 10, she basically calls it, oh, you're at least a 5 or a 6 at best." And obviously my character just gets very, very insulted, feels very insulted by it. And this is kind of the whole point with the supporting characters, that she's literally everything that's kind of wrong with what's going to go wrong with modern relationship, people being shallow or anything or any other number of things. They only look at someone at a purely physical level and doesn't even actually care about the emotional connection of being in a relationship. She's just only in it just for the sex. That's pretty much what she's in it for.
That's not too far from real life.
Yeah, I know there is a bit. I know, like I said, it's a bit of a modern critique on the idea and challenging those. And I know, again, some people often don't like those ideas about double standards, like, oh, men are the only ones who do this kind of stuff. No, believe me, women have some pretty. I'm sure women have some more pretty darker fantasies. I mean, if 50 Shades of Grey is to go by anything, they want to be dating the so-called bad boy and whatnot. And they think that they can fix him. No, I'm sorry, ladies. Hate to burst your bubble, but if that guy has a lot of stealth, has a lot of wealth and status, he probably has a big pool of women he can easily find anywhere. He just has to show up somewhere, and he probably has women swooning over him just by looking at him. This is the problem with the world going on currently. I mean, again, I find characters that are, again, more introverted. I find those characters more endearing, especially if they're a female character. But I'm not saying they're not necessarily weak or anything. They can be strong-minded, but they don't have to really necessarily say a lot or anything. Because oftentimes the smartest person in the room is often the person who says the least.
Yeah. Oh my God! Is he jamming out to Gaga? It's my kid. I'm looking. My God. I'm looking at the credits. Yeah. Yeah. Oh my God! That was a Showtime show. It's called The United States of Terra.
Oh yeah, I think I heard. Is she like a main character on that show, or supporting character?
She's supporting, but she was a regular on it.
Oh, okay.
And that was her first big regular role. That went for 2 seasons. Yeah, 2009 to 2011. It was on Showtime.
Yeah. So not many people would have known about that show unless you had like, premium cable.
No, she's all supporting roles from what I'm saying.
Yeah, so again,
until Captain Marvel came along, yep.
Yeah, now she feels more snobbish, and now she feels like she can do anything. Heck, she even started a YouTube channel.
So she started acting in 1998. She started acting in 98, and she doesn't get her first lead role until she plays the role of Carol Danvers in 2019. So imagine 21 years of you acting, and you don't get your first leading role for 20 years after you've been in the business. It's kind of tough.
Yeah.
Doesn't give you a right to be a total fucking asshole to everybody, but
yeah, I mean, how do you feel
I can
about
understand the bitterness, but
I mean, how do you feel about some actors who get typecast? I mean, you either
don't but at least they had their leading role. Imagine being in the job for 20 years and not even being able to get that role. I do not excuse her behavior, but I understand her bitterness. Who couldn't? 20 years of you doing your job and you never get the chance to shine, not once? That's gotta be brutal, dude.
Yeah, I say I probably blame her agent for that.
Yeah, but at the same time, you could burn through a ton of agents, but I get it. I understand. I'm not saying it's okay. Of course it's not okay. You should never be an asshole to innocent people. Be an asshole to the people who held you down for 21 years.
yeah. Wait, say again. Sorry.
Yeah, like be a jerk to those people who try to hold you down. Don't be a jerk to innocent people.
Yeah, exactly. Or just don't really like be around people who have been vindictive of you, but if they start acting all happy and all buddy with you, just ignore them, because that's all they're really trying to do, because you're doing better than they are now. They want to act like they think that now you're like doing better now. I think they can just grift off your whatever success you're doing and try to drag you down further. And that's what I kind of feel about this person, because I'm pretty sure any videos I've been doing, I think he's been skulking around the background. And I think now that I'm just like, I'm getting more exposure, he's trying to like get himself into the spotlight too.
And the sad thing is, Brie Larson isn't going to be much known for much after, because the stuff that she's doing is a producer role. The last actual acting role that she's doing is the Marvels. You've probably heard of it.
Oh yes, I don't even want to bother going to see. I didn't want to see Captain Marvel. All I cared about was seeing Avengers.
If you like the woman who's playing Monica Rambeau, then you should like the Marvels, because I think they're going to pass. I haven't even seen Captain Marvel, but I've seen the other stuff, and from what it looks like, they're going to be passing the torch to Monica Rambeau.
Yeah,
especially if Brie Larson is going into a producer role, and she's got 2 projects coming out after the Marvels. So yeah, it looks like she's going to stop acting and get into a producer role.
Okay,
what I'm seeing here, and like I said, I checked multiple sources. IMDb's one, and I know anybody can write anything, but like a lot of this stuff is making sense. Especially how she was supposed to be the star of The Acolyte, and now we don't even know. We've heard that it's coming, but we don't know, and she's not the lead because they would announce that. Yeah.
Oh yeah. That is kind of the whole point about like. Don't be mean to
Hey, what are we doing? Isn't she the one that said, "Oh, about the 40-year-old, and this isn't for you," and came
40-year-old white dudes. It's like you literally just alienated a huge chunk of a huge punch of a potential like customer base right there. You're not going to get anywhere by insulting your audience. I mean, heck, everyone who's on KK side have all learned that. I mean, where the heck is Pablo Hidalgo now? Where's Chuck Wendy?
Yeah.
All gone. And this
and
is
then,
always
and then that one time where her and Jeremy Renner are being interviewed, and she says she's going to use this as a platform. And then Renner just like rolls his eyes at her, like says, "This isn't a platform. I just want to do a movie.
Yes.
I don't know what you're talking about." And then they get into it, and then the time where freaking her and Don Cheadle and freaking Chris Hemsworth get into it. Those are examples that she's like kind of a total snob.
Yes, exactly. I mean, she wants to be. I don't want to be the next Tom Cruise. I want to be the next me. Lady, you are not special at all. I mean, even though Tom Cruise is a freaking weirdo, but again, he has a lot of good movies under his credit. You gotta give the guy credit for actually doing his own stunts. I mean, we all know full well you have a stunt double. We all know it.
Oh, is she though? Oh yeah, because she said she didn't know that you weren't supposed to do your own stunts. I'm not going to give her crap for that because some people are smart and some aren't.
Oh yeah, put that one up from
Pablo Hidalgo. What
he got yeeted. He got yeeted out of Lucasfilm, to put it plain.
How do we know that he got yeeted? All he did was take his name off socials.
Well, I know it's funny, but I mean, if he's like not like having his thing on there, so I think it.
Oh yeah, people's making a big deal because he took his name off socials, and they're assuming that he either quit or got fired.
Yeah, that's exactly.
And if he did get fired, that is good because
I pretty much said.
Do you guys realize that Pablo Hidalgo was part of the head of creative of the sequel trilogy?
Yes. And even then, it's kind of ironic. Again, I still do not understand
so
that.
Finn getting destroyed and all this crap.
Like I want to share that. Like I don't know. Again, also put that other one that
same here. I can't wait for Top Gun 2.
Yeah. Put this one up about the Acolyte from Aggressively Relaxing.
Oh yeah, hang on.
Yeah, it's supposed to be like she's supposed to play like a character in the Acolyte or something.
She was supposed to play a character. And Leslie Headland was supposed to be the freaking to be the writer for that. But apparently not. She did not get the role. Because wasn't the casting director for that series Jon Favreau?
Oh yeah, I gotta remember to show this old.
And she couldn't get past Jon Favreau, so yeah.
Yeah, I want to share this really quickly. Remember this old thing?
Bot. Or troll, either way. Boot.
Yeah, remember this? Yeah, look at that. That whole all those things. Like this, like it's not like authentically.
That's something that Brie Larson posted.
No, that's not. No, it's not something Brie Larson posted. This was like something that was captured from like that thing they were doing about like that story group thing that they did, that video they talked about announcing the High Republic. Again, I already immediately don't think this was stupid. Like this a thing here that Star Wars with a heart, not pro-war. Excuse me, but that's kind of in the title here. Mythic. Isn't it already basically that?
Dude, Star Wars is always at war.
Exactly. Space and lightsaber fights, pretty much standard. No single character. Like, you have like a good ensemble group of characters that do integrate the story. But here is the wishes here. They just put a
No, you're not supposed to. In Star Wars, you're not supposed to be pro-war. That is the way of the Jedi. Doesn't mean you don't want to go to war.
Or you have to go to war. You have
always. The thing about Star Wars is they always have to go to war.
Exactly. And here's the other thing here. We want dinosaurs in our store. We want dinosaurs.
Well, if you're doing a Mandalorian lore story of any kind, they always talk about the great mythosaurs. So yeah, you do kind of need some dinosaurs there. Not that many, but a little bit.
Yeah, but I know that they'll find it. They would have found a way to.
Oh, they're gonna do some dinosaurs in Mandalorian season 3.
Yeah, but I mean, if the Lucasfilm story group they had like High Republic, they would have found a way to screw that up because the people they hire. Heck, one of the people, Claudia Gray, she's not even a Star Wars fan. She's a Star Trek chick. Heck, she freaking did the live long. She did a Vulcan salute. Like, come on. I know you can like both.
Star Wars wishes. No, I agree with that Sith Empire at the bottom. Can't hate on that.
I know, that I can understand, but again, the fact this is High Republic stuff. I'm sorry, but I already tapped out.
Yeah, that's one thing. Look at all of it, though. There is some good stuff in there, but then there's some crap stuff in there too.
Like, okay, who can? Yeah, diversity. Are you only talking about diversity of human characters only?
Star Wars has diversity. Why would you want someone on the list that already has?
Yeah, exactly. That's stupid. I mean, I think they're only thinking about diversity because they're only looking at it from the lens of planet Earth, humans in the Star Wars.
They're all looking at the hermit. The freaking Star Wars has more diversity than any.
Exactly. If I don't want to be Eric, if I want to be anything in the Star Wars universe, I want to be one of the aliens. I want to be a Keldor, for crying out loud. I want to be a Keldor.
Star Wars has more variations of species than Star Trek does.
Exactly, and that's the whole thing. Some people don't take advantage of. I mean, they're basically just using sometimes especially in some things, they try to make them as just basically props. Essentially, heck, I don't even know what the heck that thing was that was in Rise of Skywalker that had no arms. Then they say it was like a mechanic. Like, how can you do anything with no arms?
Oh no, Gretchen, relaxing. Max showed me a High Republic book that he got like a month ago. It looks pretty cool.
Is it Galactic?
It's like this monster skull Sith Lord on the cover, and it actually looked pretty badass.
Oh yeah, isn't there some like faction they fight against, like those Sith root things, or freaking like?
I don't think it was Yusong Vong, but freaking. Because it's High Republic, but it looked pretty cool. And I don't know much about High Republic other than that stupid rock. But
which again, why is that even there? Like
that can't be legit.
It's a rock. I mean, they even had like one of those. It's
gotta be a troll, man. I can't take that seriously.
No. They actually
neither could Jay either. So I think that's hilarious.
What you mean, Drunk 3PO?
Have you seen the one skit that him, freaking Theory and Jeremy did? Oh my god!
No, but they did like those short like bio things on the official Star Wars channel about the High Republic.
They did a parody on that episode or that one book where Claudia Gray freaking where Claudia Gray comes out with the she's the writer for the book where they do the geode and the vessel the spaceship called the Vessel.
Again, why? So that's like, oh yeah.
They did a whole parody on it, and it was freaking hilarious. Yes. I couldn't stop laughing because I thought it was so funny.
Yeah, but that's kind of the whole thing, though. It's just like everything about. I'm sorry, but I mean that's why I refer to it as the high as a kite republic, because literally I think all the stuff they're coming up with, I think they were probably high when they came up with those ideas.
Yeah, well, the Beatles came up with some pretty good ideas, and they were high all the time, and they're coming up with all their shit too.
Yeah, but at least that's music.
No, Claudia Gray, when they interview about it, tries to laugh it off, and it sounds like the dumbest freaking thing out there.
It's a rock. How does it move? Is it quantum locked or something? I don't understand the science behind how an inanimate object is supposed to move, other than you are able to physically push it, or how it's supposed to move on its own or something. And it only moves it only stops when you only look at it. It's like that. Is it like a weeping angel or something? I don't understand. There again, there is a suspension of disbelief, but there's also a suspension of insanity. I'm sorry, but I am passionate about, and I do not approve of the High Republic. It looks like literal garbage to me.
All right, here we go. I'm gonna do share screen. You got to see this.
Okay. You can actually just view the tab itself.
Yeah.
Put it on full screen.
Would you please welcome to the stream?
Oh yeah. Oh yes. Oh yes. I remember this.
My special guest.
Can't even keep a straight face.
Yeah, with this, it's so ridiculous. Oh yeah.
Shield, how are you?
And you can tell it's freaking Star Wars Theory doing the voiceover.
We only have the biggest stars on this channel, and since you finally made your debut, it's okay. It's okay, Jedi. You got this, man. You got this. It's okay.
Again, you gotta love like Star Wars Theory. I mean, I had no idea he was a cancer survivor. That I did not know.
You finally made your debut as the navigator.
Hang on, we gotta see this real quick.
It says in the book that the Jedi don't even know when you're walking. They don't even know when you're talking. But it says you have the biggest personality in all of Star Wars. I don't know how you pull it off. I'm telling you, the awards are coming your way. How do you do it, my friend? How do you do it?
It's just about having a rock hard personality and
Oh gosh.
stick to rules. And it's hard being part of the community. They look at me kind of funny, kind of in the world, but just gotta be accepting.
I mean, yeah, he's done voiceover for his actual theory for like what if videos he's done. Where he's doing Anakin, Obi-Wan, Yoda, or even Palpatine. Oh yeah. What was the guy's name? The like Leonix Gates. I don't even understand what that. But basically, again, it feels like they used an.
How can you be a co-pilot when you have no arms? It's a freaking. Oh, I get it.
Oh,
the captain is a stoner, so we think that the Rock's an actual person and talking to him. I told you it was a troll.
I need to change Baby Mario.
All right, with a library card in the you can hear.
No, I'm good.
Yeah. But yeah,
I stopped reading books when I graduated college, so I'm good to go, dude.
Well, me as an aspiring writer, it's kind of something you would need to know. You would need to. Like, I haven't been reading recently, but hey, I'm thinking.
I gave up on my dreams when George Lucas sold Star Wars and Skywalker Ranch to Disney. I was given promises by people at LucasArts that I would have a job, and then they sold, so they couldn't fulfill that promise.
Well, then again, I really think everyone in the Phantom Menace should be interviewing you, man. They should be. Considering you tried to work for Lucasfilm.
I haven't told anybody this. Not publicly like this. I've told my family and friends, but I haven't even told Nate this, so yeah.
Well, now Nate knows. I think maybe he should come in. You guys.
I'm sorry, Nate, but yeah, there was a time where I was going to go work for LucasArts. I may have told Nate this. We've talked for hours upon hours, so I have no clue. I was going to work for LucasArts. I was about 16, 17 years old, and they said go to college, get your degree, programming, things like that, in business, and come back, and you can come out here to California, and we got you. I had an actual interview, a resume, everything. So I went to college, just like they told me to. And I got programming and business management. It was a double degree, so I was in school for 3.5 years. And then I went back, and the year that I graduated was the year that Lucas sold LucasArts and all of Lucasfilm to Disney.
That is enough to break.
I had a guaranteed job. I was going to move out to Cali and be on Skywalker Ranch and freaking have a job working for LucasArts. My fucking dream, dude.
When you think, the same thing can be said about me. I mean, as I was young, I mean, you really thought of all the people who worked at Bungie. You thought, wow, it'd be awesome to work for these. It'd be awesome to work for these guys, and look where they are now. They became Activision's bitch, and now Activision is now the bitch of Microsoft. But they're still gonna release all their games on multi-platform, at least the Call of Duty games, at least, which I do not really care for. As far as I can tell, Xbox can have it. They can have COD.
Really ambiguous about what's happening, but see, I knew it. I knew there had to be something to it. Okay, so that, thank you, Aggressive Relaxing, for the things that I was thinking in the back of my head, pretty much bringing that to the surface. So basically what it is this dude is so stoned out of his mind. He thinks that this rock is legit. And so it creates this own little reality while he's dreaming that he's the co-pilot and all this stuff. And okay. So it's essentially a troll while he's sleeping. So yeah. Oh, okay. That makes more sense. I'm like, why would you make a rock your co-pilot?
Yeah.
And also, they said that this guy's character was based upon Matthew McConaughey.
Yeah,
I think Matthew McConaughey smokes a lot of weed. All right, so it makes perfect sense. Why wouldn't this dude be a stoner? Matthew McConaughey is kind of a stoner.
It makes perfect sense.
Yeah. Oh, Nate used to hate on this shit just like I did.
Yeah.
Rock. I'm like, yeah, it makes sense. Okay, Nate, since you're here, Matthew McConaughey is like a real life version of Matt Riddle, ain't he? Bro. All right.
My name's Ellis, but some people call me L.
Oh my god. You get your character Vandenberg to freaking smoke some weed and you're like, they call me Dr. Vandenberg, but right now you just call me Vandy.
I would love to have a hookah every now and again, but Mrs. Spock doesn't appreciate it. Yes. It still smells like skunk stench in this place still.
All right.
Yeah, I know. It's just like, again, Vandenberg. Yeah, that was a really crazy idea that I came up with. I mean, I think the genesis of that character came when I was playing Fallen Order, when I was playing a little playthrough of Fallen Order. And I mean, I personally do like it. I'm glad we're getting a sequel to that game.
That's cool. But
again, though, I mean, it's still like, I even had another idea for, like, you know, a stoner Sith character who basically fumbled on his very first job as his very first mission, and like he's like a deadbeat Sith Lord. And he basically just
I haven't decided if I'm going to play Fallen Order this coming week in my video game series or if I'm going to play Miles Morales.
I have yet to play that, but I know I'm anticipating. Oh, speaking of which, I think my game is set to pre-download, Horizon Forbidden West.
Okay. Yeah, I got to wrap it up because I got to get dinner ready for the family and everything.
Yeah, and I'm kind of starving myself as well.
Yeah, but thanks for coming on, Jet Sparks. Had a great time talking to you.
No problem.
Thanks to everybody in the chat for chatting with us. I got to read this real quick. You wonder that reading, but the end, there's a twist. Spoiler. Oh, no. No, I'm good. Rocks aren't alive. They're not people.
Yeah. Seriously, the only thing a rock is good for is basically if you feel like you just had just about enough of how insane the world is getting, you can just walk. You can just put yourself on the ground and let it fall on your head, or you can jump off a cliff onto a bunch of jagged ones. That got dark.
Yeah, real quick. All right, we're good. Thanks to my guests. Thanks for coming back, Nate. You're like the Green Lantern. You always come back. But let's see. I got a watch party tomorrow, and then that's the week. Or I might. Oh no. Nate, we saw Robin Hood Men in Tights earlier. It's so good.
I absolutely love that movie. That's one of my my all-time favorite comedy.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Saturday I'm doing the Mel Brooks stream, and Nate gonna co-host that. Sunday I might do recap. I'm all wrestling recap. I'm thinking about just doing show by show. But thanks guys. I'm gonna end it here. Jess Sparks, where can they find you?
Oh, I'm on Instagram, I'm on Twitter, and I have my own YouTube channel. Just search JetSparks373 on all of them. I'm also, if you also feel like you want to play with me, I'm on PSN at JetSparks373, so you can find me there. And I also have Xbox, but I don't have Game Pass on it right now. But you guys want to play? I want to try to do streams I want to play I want to play Left 4 Dead and do some things with people who maybe just do things with subscribers, and maybe anyone wants to play the game. Just some stuff that will be fun to do. Just have streams with friends. And I know there's a couple other people I do play the game with, and I will try to do more game streams on the weekends at least. But until then, you guys just stay posted with me. So I'll see you around.
All right, sounds good. Thank you to my guests once again. Thank you to you guys in the chat. This is Book of Boba, so that's finale. We have a lot of great things to look forward to. So let's keep you posted. Until next time, have a great evening and take care.